I want you to imagine this idea. This isn't something that I believe, but I think is very interesting, and there's a lesson that we can learn from this. This is all based upon a story called The Egg by Andy Weir. So I want you to imagine this. You may have heard of reincarnation, and with reincarnation, if a person passes away, the idea is that they are reborn. But what if that doesn't mean that they have to be reborn into the future? Because time is something that is in the material, the natural world, right? So if something is beyond the material, beyond the natural, if it's supernatural, if it's immaterial like the soul is supposed to be, well then it means that someone can be reincarnated into the past, right? It means the soul is not bound by time, so someone can be reincarnated into the past. And if that is the case, then it means that if you have ever been reincarnated in all of your lives, then you might have interacted with yourself at some point. Isn't that interesting? If you had been reincarnated into the past at any given point in time, then you could have interacted with yourself. But even more than that, the idea is that in fact there is only one soul. And this soul keeps being reincarnated and reincarnated time and time again. And it's been reincarnated in all of the human lives. Every single person is the same. Every single soul is just another version of itself. Every perpetrator, every victim, every genius, every normal person, anyone from any spectrum of existence, any human life, has all been this one soul that has been reincarnated over and over and over again. All historical figures, Einstein, Nikola Tesla, all of these people, all of the individuals that have ever lived have been this one soul. And this one soul has to live out all human lives before it can join the rest of the souls, the rest of the supernatural other beings that exist in a higher realm. But it's only mature enough to do that once it's lived every single human life. Now that's an interesting story, but I believe there's something that we can learn from something like this. Now I'm not saying that I believe in reincarnation or anything like that myself, though I find it an interesting idea and I respect a person's belief if they do have those beliefs. But what I do think is that it can show that in fact a lot of us do have this likeness. Now it doesn't mean that we're all alike in the fact that we all share this one soul, no, but it can help you to realise that, wow, if everyone was you, how would you treat people if you knew that everyone was the same as you? But the fact is, even though I don't believe we're all this one soul, I think everyone is very much similar. 99.9% of our human DNA is the same. And once you step into that, I believe you can really open up your mind to what's possible. Because you see, my name is Paras, and I'm here to show you what you're capable of. So if that's something that you want to be part of, there's two things that you can do, my friend. The first is to subscribe to this channel, and the second is to check out that top link in the description. More about that later. So my point isn't to say that everyone is the same, because of course not. We have differences, we have this uniqueness. 0.1% of our DNA may be different, and that might only be a small amount, but that small amount can create a lot of differences. There are things that are very different between human beings. We have different circumstances, we have different genetics, we have different appearances, we have different minds, we have different ideas. There's a big variety of things. But at the same time, it can show that the only real difference is the conditions that we're raised in. And if we look into that, we can realise that if we were in the same conditions as someone else, we would have been them. If we grew up in the same families as them, if we had the same genetics as them, if we had those conditions, we would have been them, which can make us a lot more empathetic, it can make us a lot more understanding. It can make us understand that other people just like us are able to have that suffering, are able to go through things, are able to both grow and to suffer and to experience everything along this whole human consciousness. And in that way we can look beyond ourselves and we can appreciate what others go through, which I think is a very noble thing to be able to understand, because it's very easy to just be focused on your own life. And of course you should be. You should be focused on your own life and improving yourself, because if you don't, then it's a disservice to yourself, but also it's a disservice to others if you don't do that. And if you can have a motivation that goes beyond just yourself, that's when you get to the higher levels of the kinds of thinking and the kinds of appreciation that you can truly tap into. Now, what this also reveals is that no one is better than you. No one is better than you because they simply have more time, more knowledge, or more experience on their side. And that's how they've been able to cultivate certain success that you don't have. Now, of course, there are things like genetics and luck that play into it, but you can't control those things. And someone in the same genetics or the same luck as you was still able to cultivate that success. And the only reason they were able to do that is not because they're better than you, no, it's because they have more of that time, experience, or knowledge on their side, in which case, learn from them and apply it to your own life. And on the flip side, it means that no one is worse than you either, which can give you a sense of humility and bring you back down to a sense where you understand your equality with others. Because when you get to that place of being too egotistical, when you get to arrogance, where you look down upon people, where you think you are better than people, then of course that ego will lead to a downfall of yourself. So having that humility, but also having that student mindset where you're able to learn from others and not downplay yourself, appreciate exactly who you are, not above or below yourself. That way you can have a genuine understanding of who you are. And if you have a genuine understanding of who you are, well, then you can find that confidence because you can live out your truth. And if you're living out your truth, well, then you believe in yourself, and believing in yourself is confidence. So you see, everything falls into place this way. So that story about the egg, about this soul that has been reincarnated over and over again in every single human life, maybe that's not the case. It may well be, but I don't believe it is. But it can remind us of the fact that we are all very, very similar. And in fact, there are quite a few lessons that reside within that, as I've shared with you. If you want my help to skyrocket yourself when it comes to your own life, to achieve mastery of your mind and your body, the top link in the description is my mentorship package. It's the best investment you'll make towards yourself without a doubt. I know that you'll love it, and I want you to join the many others who have taken up that opportunity, because I don't want you missing out. This is absolutely amazing, and it's the best work that I've ever produced. It's genuinely something that I wish my younger self had, and I want you to take that up. Of course, feel free to make up your own mind, but I'd love to work with you and get you to the life that you truly deserve. And as always, remember, bro, keep improving.